Well, it somewhat stayed together, better than I expected for a Lego, considering it was going way faster than this was ever meant to go. So, yeah, with the way I was building the gearing, I was not anticipating it to be anywhere as fast or fun as this is, and there's a few quick things I can do to make it a little stronger for next time I run this, because I might actually take this to a local RC track with the way it was working. It genuinely was a really fun buggy to use out there. So one thing, I can use a longer stub shaft from where my gearbox is. And yes, it's mostly Lego other than the pinion from the motor to the spur gear that fits the Lego axle really well. It just needs to be a little longer, and I'll put a screw in on this end so it doesn't try and slide out, which is part of what some of the skipping may have been off and on as I was noticing. So there's that. It was limiting how much my shocks actually travel because I was having an issue where sometimes under just like decompression like this, it was pulling the mounts apart from where they mount on and then just making it where the car would just crash. So there's some stuff like that, as well as just hold on a second, I've got something in the way of my phone camera. There we go. So yeah, there was some stuff considering the front suspension I need to improve, which this is just using an old nitro like exhaust spring that I just stretched over through the actual or the tubing of the Technic piece to one side and then the other of the front, well, like hinge point, similar to how like an I-beam works on a real truck. And yeah, it turned out really well. I might still make it a little stiffer, but I'm going to have to drill the center of the axles here and in the back, and then just put a little screw in to make sure they don't keep falling out. In the long run, I might change it out to where it's a steel like sleeve that makes it where the wheel bolts on with some bearings if I get that fancy with it. But overall, steering was really direct, and I was more than happy with that. And just a little highlight is that blue piece in the middle is a paper clip. I just kept that around, I guess, and it just worked. So yeah, this is just a 2-in-1 ESC that I've gotten from a friend of mine that he was wanting to see this thing finished up, and I just didn't have the time to really go out and figure out where I could get a decent or like 20 amp rating ESC. So he helped me out in the end. Really appreciate it if you're seeing the video. And yeah, I just realized I lost the Lego piece out there. It's really hard to find that stuff on the road. So with the back suspension, it was a little more intricate. It definitely has enough travel. It's just a matter of getting it to where I don't have it bind on anything, and it was mostly just the rear shocks I need to make some improvements on. But for the most part, if we get really close, we can see just above my finger is where the pinion is for the motor. I'm trying to get it to where it shows up, but the camera just tries to make everything really hard to see. So the pinion's going right to the spur, and then it just goes down to one of the idler gears at the top. And then from this side, we can see the middle idler way easier, right in the middle next to my thumb there. And then it just goes down to the underside, where I try to keep the actual drive gear as small as possible, so there would be a minimum chance of just like rocks or debris or other biological things hitting that and wrecking my day with running this thing. So yeah, just wanted to cover that kind of stuff with you guys before I just worked on it a little bit more, and you can see where I've actually drilled and like pinned the actual hinge mounts for where my shocks are, so one just continually pop them apart under the load this was under. So yeah, just cool stuff like that. I'll get another video of this thing sometime soon, but for the meantime, hope you guys enjoyed the video because it was definitely fun to run this thing. I'll see you next time.